IG, Facebook. Today is January 24th, 2020. I don't know why 2019 is just stuck in my head. I'll give everybody a few minutes to hop on. Yes, we are in a new decade, new era, new money, new black era of excellence, all that good stuff. Welcome, welcome. Yes, welcome. Today is Friday, FICO Friday, my favorite day of the week. Actually, every day is my favorite day of the week. And so, did Jay steal Tony's money? I'm not sure what you're talking about. FICO Friday, yes. What's good? Shannon _ Dancing Phoenix. King Just, what's going on? All right, family. So again, for those who may not know me, for those who may this be your first time on FICO Friday, my name is Will Roundtree, president and founder of We Management Services, president and co-founder of Easy Funding, credit mastery instructor for the Jay Morrison Academy. I am looking at 3 different screens, so you guys, forgive me. We got the Will Roundtree IG page, we got the Facebook page, and we got the Jay Morrison Academy page. All that good stuff. Yes, full-time CEO. So definitely, if you want to cop some of the merch, go to fulltimeceo.online, fulltimeceo.online. And also, too, I want to thank everybody who supported and helping us get to over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. We did the $1,000 giveaway. King Jason actually won out there in H-Town and blessed him. And the dope thing about King Jason is he actually reinvested it into his education. He was like, King, I'm just using the money to reinvest to expand my knowledge base and put me in position. And so I thought that was real dope of him. Also, too, if you have not done so, make sure you go out and pick up the copy of my book, Full-Time CEO, The Shit They Don't Tell You. I'm telling you, everything that, any and everything that you could ever think about, or any and everything that could go wrong in business, I'm talking about it in the book. It's just not the glamorized stuff. See, a lot of us, we see, entrepreneurship, and we see, the Instagram lifestyle, but I'm telling you, it don't go like that all the time. It's a lot of, mishaps. It's a lot of bad investment sometimes. It's a lot of, loss of time. Because remember, a lot of times when you're going into business, we're so conditioned to trade time for dollars. We're conditioned to think if I go to work for 8 hours, I'm going to get a check. It don't work like that in business. They say the average person has to work an average of 10,000 hours before they see a profit in their business. It took me 6 years before I seen a profit in my business. 6 years. Who's willing to sacrifice working 6 years without making any money? And a lot of it for me was trial and error, but that's because I didn't have platforms and forums like this. I often tell people, you want to go into whatever industry you want to go in, learn business. I get how to make the best cakes in the city. Learn business. I get it. You can flip the most amount of properties. Learn business. All right. So understanding, and that's what the book Full-Time CEO is going to be teaching you and talking about. You can go to Amazon.com and all the other sites. If you want a copy actually signed, you can go to fulltimeceobook.com, fulltimeceobook.com. and actually pick up a copy, and make sure you drop a review, good, bad, or indifferent. I just like the feedback, and we keep it honest around here. Trust me, I can take the criticism. So definitely let me know how you like the book, and if you don't want to do it on Amazon, drop it in my my DM. So today we're going to be talking about the new FICO 10. The Audible version of the Full-Time CEO is not out yet. It should be done by the end of this month. And also, too, you can even still go and pick up my book, Credit is King. Somebody actually bought 100 copies 2 days ago. And so, I appreciate y'all still supporting the book. I had zero expectations when I wrote that book. Somebody just told me, hey, you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you need to write a book. And like I've been telling everybody, all my entrepreneurs out there, the best business card you can have is writing a book. Write a book, okay? All right, Queen. I see you, dropping these messages and asking about King Jay and all of that. Look, we all about positivity over here. Okay, so whatever y'all have going on, let's keep it off the chats. All right, it's all about positivity, Queen. All right, Queen Lavi, what's going on? All right, so yes, so what was I talking about? Yes, the book Credit is King. All my entrepreneurs, your business card should be a book. You know, I often talk about when I'm out in the field and people ask me for a business card, I say, hey, I don't carry business cards. I'll give you my book. That's my business card. I'll send you to my social media because I learned a long time ago. I remember I used to go, King Rashad, what's going on? I remember I used to go to a ton of networking events and I give out my business cards. And then I remember one time I went outside after giving out probably about 100 business cards and 70% of them was on the ground outside. And so one of the things I've learned is that most people don't keep business cards. Now, I do have business cards and I make sure that I invest in one that the average person probably not going to throw away just because it looks nice. But again, I want to give somebody a book. I want to send them to my social media. And that's one of the things I recommend you guys do. Figure out a way to stand out. And a book is the best business card. A book is a very good conversational piece. You know, when I'm on an airplane, I'm reading my book because you never know who's sitting next to me. You know, when I'm waiting in the airport lounge or I'm sitting at a restaurant at the airport, I got my book open. You know what I'm saying? And so just the other day, I was in the airport, gave my book to Damon John. And so I'm just always finding ways, you know, and I often talk about the 3-foot rule. You know, if you're within 3 feet of me, I'm going to talk to you. You know, you're going to get some type of information and just always being proactive. And trust me, it's very uncomfortable for me to just talk to random strangers, but it's something that I've just focused on doing and it's almost become second nature, even though it's still a little bit uncomfortable for me because anyone who knows me personally know I'm naturally kind of an introvert outside of business. But when it comes to business, you know, I just love to kind of, you know, go out here, spread the word and, you know, and drop some information that I've been privileged to know and I'm just paying it forward. Okay. And so again, family, today we're going to talk about the FICO 10 credits model. A lot of people have been hitting me up in my DMs. So I say, you know what, I'm going to talk about that. And so for those who do not know, the FICO scoring model is a model that basically judges you based upon your credit score. It's an algorithm of a of a calculation of things that is going to grade you on how banks view you. Okay. Now, I want to tell everybody, first thing I want everybody to do, it's not that big of a deal. It's really not. The media, the banks, the internet, they're making it more of a deal than it really is. The only really difference in the FICO 10 scoring model is if your credit is bad, it's still bad. If your credit is good, it has zero impact to you. Zero. Now, there are other credit system models that are out there. You have the Vantage score, you have the FICO 8, you have the FICO 9. Keep in mind, the banks, the lenders, they decide which model they want to use. Okay? Folks on YouTube talking real crazy. Oh my gosh, King Anwar, they going ham talking about this is propaganda they use to scare us. And it's really not that big of a deal. Like with the whole FICO 9 that came out in 2018, they made a big deal about that and nobody used it. Nobody. And so again, we have to prepare ourselves. And this is why having great credit is important, because when you have good credit, none of the other scoring models can impact you or affect you negatively. If you got good credit, you got good credit, period. And that's how it boils down. Now, where there are going to be some differences with the FICO 10 scoring model is that if you have a negative payment history, it's going to impact you more. And it's up to the lender's discretion to decide whether they want to lend money to you or not. Okay? And a lot of times, believe and understand, you can still get approved for some things with bad credit, but keep in mind, you're going to have a high interest rate, an extremely high interest rate. And so just understand that as long as you continue to do what you guys have been learning all along, it does not impact you. Let's stop getting up in arms about something. It's all propaganda. They're just trying to scare us. They're just trying to rattle us because, as I always say, see, credit levels the playing field. Credit can open up doors for us that we never could have imagined from a financial standpoint, from a building wealth creation standpoint, from a leverage standpoint. Imagine wanting to start a business. Imagine wanting to go into real estate. Imagine being able to want to do all of that and not having any capital. But because you have great credit, you can go to the bank, get access to, as I call it, creative financing, and being able to go and start that brand new business. Think about how powerful that is. And so when they're dropping this propaganda to scare the community, to scare the black and brown communities, and then we think, oh man, I can't do it. You know, so the reason I pointed it out in that fashion is that I was speaking with a king a couple days ago who is attempting to try to get some capital for his business. You know, has good credit overall, but again, as we know, it's about the credit profile. And so his overall credit profile, you know, he had an excessive amount of inquiries. And so at this particular time, he does not qualify. Could he still get some approvals? Possibly. But the number of inquiries he had, based upon what I know bank underwriters look for, he may not get as much as he's probably anticipating. Okay. And this king told me, you know what? I think I'm just wasting my time. I'm going to just quit. And I was like, so you're going to quit on your dreams because of a hurdle that you know that can be fixed? Like, really think about that, because I see this all the time in our community. We'll quit on our dreams. We'll quit trying to get to that next level because of one little bitty hurdle. But I'm going to talk to my kings for a minute. Kings, we'll go and chase the queen that we trying to go after for 10 years who wants nothing to do with you. But you get one hurdle in your business and we want to give up. We have to stop thinking like that. When it comes to business, why do we give up so easily? Why? Like King Justice said, yeah, we got to fail forward. Why do we give up so easily in business? When we get one little hurdle, we think everything is a scam? But we'll go work a job for 40 years and our boss could treat us like, you know what I'm saying? Like, have no respect for us. But when it comes to trying to build your own kingdom, when it comes to trying to build your own legacy, we give up easily. And so with this whole thing, like I say, with the FICO 10, it's a scare tactic. You know, it's almost kind of like what I tell people when the credit bureaus are sending you these letters in the mail. Those are just stall tactics. Oh, we can't validate this debt. It's a stall tactic. You didn't even verify if the debt is mine or not. You didn't even verify if the debt is legitimate or not. So the whole FICO 10, like Queen Andy just talked about how the Ultra FICO score was a joke. The FICO 10 is a joke. And I'm saying that because as long as you have great credit, it doesn't impact you, period. So let's just continue to do what we've been doing. From a credit standpoint, it doesn't impact you. Okay. Now, the ones who it will impact is people who don't make payments on time. The FICO 10 scoring model, actually, they just announced it yesterday. So a lot of people may not have heard it yet. They just announced it. It's a bunch of propaganda going on the internet right now. Okay. And so for those who don't make their payments on time, it's going to impact you even more. As we know, one late payment can drop a credit score as much as 50 to 150 points. So it just means that late payments are going to have more of a detrimental impact to your credit score negatively. You know, now the other thing it will impact is people who keep their balances too high. People who keep their balances on their credit cards too high. If you keep a running balance, or you keep your running balance or your debt at the tilt of the balance or the limit of the credit card, that's going to impact you more. All right, so credit utilization. Now, isn't it ironic the two, things that impact our credit the most is going to have the most detriment with the FICO 10 scoring model? Late payments or payment history, which is 35% of the score, and credit usage, which is 30% of the score. 65% of what makes up our score is going to impact you even more with the FICO 10 scoring model. But again, I tell people, the new scoring model doesn't impact you as long as you already know what to do. This is why I've been teaching y'all the game for so long. So that way, if any time they drop some of these things that come down on us, it doesn't really impact you. You already know what you got to do. We know it's about as long as you take care of the credit profile, the score will take care of itself. All right? Absolutely. Keep your payments on auto pay. That's what I tell people all the time, at least for the minimum balance. At least for the minimum balance. And yes, I get it sometimes. We may be in a position where we can't pay our credit usage down. We have credit strategies for that. We have literally helped people with credit strategies to be able to help them get their credit card balances down. And I always tell people, when you're going for funding, 30% is like having a C average in school. So the banks, they may lend to you, but they're like, you're right at the cusp. So the lower you are, but the low 30% is going to help you get better approvals. All right. So again, it's a false alarm. The FICO 10 scoring model is not going to hurt people. They're saying, okay, yeah, it's going to, be harsher, ways on how they calculate our credit scores. It's actually for people who keep lower balances on a revolving credit, your scores may actually increase. And this is why I tell people revolving credit is like really what some of the fastest ways to increase your score. When you have revolving credit and you take care of it, they reward you more. Now they're saying that they're going to start calculating more with installment. I don't know how they're going to grade that, because if you have an installment account and you have a fixed payment, it's not a credit limit attached to it, so they can't grade you. So, but like we talked about the Ultra FICO score, literally people was in my inbox talking about they thought it was the end of the world with the Ultra FICO score, and that was a joke. It was like anybody who old enough to remember when it was 1999 and it was about to be 2000. We thought the computers was about to blow up. We thought cell phones was going to blow up in our hands. All that stuff. The FICO 10 scoring model is no different. Until I see anything any different, let's just go out here, continue to live our lives. Let's go out here, continue to pay our bills on time. Let's go out here, continue to leverage. Because what we should be worried about is when the banks start tightening the ropes on lending money. What we should be focused on is making sure we're putting ourselves and our loved ones in position and getting this capital before the banks start tightening up, because that's what they're starting to do. What we should start doing is making sure we're putting our young kings and queens and our heirs, not our children, our heirs, in position and educating them about credit. So that way, when they go into the real world, they're not falling into credit debt traps. Credit debt traps. Yes. Okay. So understanding that that's what we should be focused on. Getting in position today. I saw that, King Justice. Yeah, somebody's cell phone blew up in 2016. I ain't gonna say his name because that's my man's, but yes. So that's what we should be focusing on, is putting ourselves in position, because what's starting to happen with these banks is that they are now starting to ask people for, proof of income when it comes to revolving credit. Remember, they can do what they want. It's their money. But right now, I'm telling you, the easiest way to get capital from a revolving creative financing is through revolving credit. And I'm actually going to drop a video today. I meant to drop it earlier, but I got so tied up that really just talks about the difference between a revolving credit line and a business credit card. We really need to start learning the differences. We really need to start learning the differences between a credit card and a business line of credit. I get people that contact me all the time that just started to open the business yesterday and want a business line of credit. You need to be in business 2 years. But a credit card, you can start applying immediately. So before I open it up for some Q&A, and then I actually have a guest I'm going to bring on. Before I open it up for Q&A, the FICO 10 scoring model, as long as our credit is good, we don't have nothing to worry about. If your credit isn't in position, you still don't worry about it. Just focus on what you have to do to get your credit in position. All right. I see your question, King, but I'm not at Q&A right now. So you have to ask the question again. The feed is going pretty quickly. So So yeah, so the FICO 10 scoring model is not that big of a deal. Let's just continue to focus on, keeping our credit in position. Focus on keeping our utilization down. Understanding credit is a tool. It's a tool. It's a leveraging tool. Okay? Credit is a leveraging tool. And when you understand the power of leverage, you can always go out here and get money from the banks, period. Whether it's your company, whether you have 10 companies, or whether you know 10 people with 10 companies, you can put yourself in position to create yourself as the bank. When you do that, trust me, opportunities open up for you. But we got to position ourselves. We have to position ourselves, and that's really the biggest thing. So I'll open it up for some Q&A. What are some of the challenges you had as a new entrepreneur? Oh, good question. So some of the challenges that I would say that I had as a new entrepreneur is really just understanding time management. Because a lot of times, some of the things that we're doing as a brand new entrepreneur is not income productive. And so a lot of times we do things just for show, but it doesn't necessarily produce income. And so I have a thing where the first part, well, when I was building, especially in the beginning of my stage of my journey, is I only focused on income producing activity, which means in my industry, I had to find people to offer my service to. So I was always doing workshops. I was always finding affiliate partners. I was always in the streets handing out my cards, my whatever. I was at every networking event. I focused on relationship building. I focused on work. I focused on people. And that's the thing I'm always telling people is that one of the things to be successful in business is that you have to know how to deal with people. And what I mean by that, and I talked about this a little bit when I went live Wednesday, is that when you don't know how to deal with people, it's going to be impossible to be successful. And that's because in order to hire and fire successfully, you got to know how to deal with people. In order to be able to sell your product or service, you got to know how to deal with people. In order to find affiliates, in order to deal with your vendors, in order to deal with the banks, you have to know how to deal with people. And so when people send me an email, and in their email, they're trying to articulate, hey, I want you to contact me and do business with you. But when you send me an email and just say, hey, call me, I'm not returning your call. And so we have to start being more tactful in how we deal with people. And so I think sometimes when people see Black business owners, and so we're gonna talk candidly today. All right. When we see a Black owned business on the internet, we reaching out to them like they are homie. It don't work like that. And so we have to understand how to deal with people and sending a professional email. If we don't know how to send a professional email, that's something that we need to start learning. Somebody sent me a message the other day, said, hey, I need you to call me. I'm like, first of all, I don't know who you are. And secondly, why would I stop everything I'm doing to try to see what's going on with you? If you want to get access to me, hop on my lives. And I had to tell people, if you want to talk to me, hop on my lives. You can ask me questions. I'll engage. I respond to my DMs. And so, yeah, we got to start having respect for individuals. You don't know what that person has going on. And then get mad when somebody don't reply to your message and say, yo, call me. Like, that's not how we do business. Because if I was the CEO of Wells Fargo, you wouldn't send a message like that. We go into the banks and we scared to ask them questions on why we got a denial. And so understanding, we got to know how to deal with people. And so that would probably be one of the things that I would say, if you're trying to take yourself, your business, your company to that next level, learn how to deal with people. All right. How long once you start your LLC should you start applying for business credit cards? You can do it the very next day. The very next day. Does Easy Funding have a set amount of banks? No, we go to a ton of different banks. There's no set amount of banks. All right. What else y'all got for me? If your utilization is 0, wouldn't banks look at it as a negative? No, that's not true. If your credit utilization is 0, but what banks will do is they'll look to see if you've used the cards. See, one of the underwriting kind of algorithms that underwriters look at is they look at your high limits and then they look at your balances of those cards. And if they see you're not using your cards, then yeah, that could be a negative, but it doesn't mean they're not going to lend to you. See, the other thing we have to start looking at too is that when we're going after, and I'm going to always say creative financing, all right, or business capital. I don't like the term business credit because when we hear business credit, people think we're going to get a $10 million without using our social, but we never made $10,000 within our business. We got to start thinking practically. And so I like business funding or creative financing. And so understand that funding your business is a process, meaning that we can't expect to open our doors, been open 1 week, never file taxes, we don't have a P&L, we don't have any of these things in position and think a bank is going to give us $250,000 because we have a 780 credit score. It don't work like that. It's a process. You got to position yourself. You got to, look good on paper. You're going to eventually have to file taxes. Now, I'm talking a lot about this right now because tax season is around the corner. We have to stop expensing everything. You make $100,000, you write off 80, you made 20, you didn't make 100. And so when you go to the bank and you're applying for the capital, they see 20, they don't see the 100. Remember, you wrote off 80,000. And so that hurts you when you're going to start to try to get capital for your business, all right? Do banks lend money for houses less than 50,000? Yes, you just have to know what banks to go to. Does my credit score affect my business funding? Yes, it does. Your personal credit score actually probably is about 90% of what the banks will use to determine lending you money or not. Do you have to use your personal social security number with the LLC or corp? Yes, every single bank will ask you to use your social security number. What is the first thing to do to establish business credit? Have good credit. Have good credit. Do you think I should add money to my 2,700 credit card or invest the money into an entire different bank? King, good question. So I'm not big on putting a bunch of money on a secure card because then you tie up that money. We can show you other strategies to strengthen your profile without you tying up all your own capital. So King, reach out to us. You already know you fam, and we'll get you right on that. How many credit cards should you have? Would too many hurt you? No. Having too many cards, it's about making sure you're utilizing them properly. Your balances are low. You're not late on payments. That's what the banks look at. It's crazy because banks give credit to people who have a lot of credit. The more credit you have, the more money they give you. Every time I find a new bank and they got a new product, I'm always applying. I may not even need the capital right then, but I'd rather have it and not need it than to need and not have. It's just like insurance. Let somebody steal your car and you don't have insurance. You're sick because you still got to cover that note. But let them steal your car and you got insurance, even though you may have never needed insurance at the time. It's going to come in handy. Having capital is just like that for an entrepreneur. I may not need the capital until the end of 2020, but I'd rather build my capital stack because then what happens is an opportunity lands in my lap and I'm not ready. And so that's one of the things we want to do. How much does your personal credit affect your business credit? A lot. I just said 90%. Why does credit bureaus report the same info? Not sure if I understand that question. Which credit score is more important? All of them. You want to have all of them because every bank pulls a different credit from a credit bureau. Too much is way better than not enough. Absolutely. Absolutely. Can you tell us about the best deal ever in detail? I'm not sure I know what you mean, but I can tell you the best deal I ever made, it was investing in myself. The best deal I ever made in life was investing in myself. And so I would hope that would be the same. And I know it's true for anybody who I've worked with where I know what type of investment they made in themselves. Absolutely. What's a decent ratio for DTI? It depends on what you're trying to purchase. Some banks want you to be at 50% or less. Some want you to be at 40%. But typically you don't want to be over about 50 to 60% of your DTI, which stands to debt to income ratio. Meaning whatever your income is and your debts for the year, they calculate that. All right. How do you remove debt and keep my credit history? You can't remove debt. You can remove derogatory information that's reporting on your credit report that's debt. But if that's the account that has the longest payment history, well, we got to find a different strategy. All right. Qualifications for funding, Mr. ELS 3000. You can go to our website, useeasyfunding.com, and it'll give you all that information. How do I use trade lines for my credit score? Good question. So trade lines do not help you in every single situation and scenario. You only want to use trade lines when you have a strategy attached to it. You know, I had a queen who wanted to spend like $3,500 on trade lines. And I said, Queen, we will not take your money. First, let me find out, why are you trying to spend that much on trade line? She told me what her goal was. I said, you don't got to do that to get to what to accomplish what you're trying to do. And so she actually thanked me because she was about to go and spend that with another company. And I don't believe in just taking people money. I really want to put people in position. And so it's about putting people in position, not just trying to charge them. And so be careful. It's a lot of people that are charging for trade lines and you don't need them. Having more trade lines don't get you more money when it comes to funding. Let me put it like that. Having more trade lines do not get you more money. All right. All right. Where do you get funding for real estate development? It depends on what type of funding you need. So now a lot of times people say you can buy a property, no money down. That's not true. You got to have some type of capital. Now you can go to a hard money lender, but then you still got to have proof of funds. So then we do things like within our Easy Funding company where we use creative financing to be able to show the hard money lenders proof of funds. I'm telling y'all, that's high level game. That's high level game. It sounds simple, but I just had one of my clients out of Los Angeles who just bought a commercial building, and he needed to be able to show $200,000 in capital to be able to secure the building. It didn't have to be liquid. So we helped him get about $260,000 in credit that the lenders were able to use as proof of funds so he can close on his building. I'm telling you, it's all about strategy. It don't have nothing to do with having 10 degrees on your wall. It don't have nothing to do with the names you can drop that's in your Rolodex. It's about strategy when it comes to creating wealth. It's about strategy when it comes to getting to that next level. All right. How should you look in credit profile to get a $300K loan? It depends what type of loan it is. If you're talking about a $300K business loan, you probably have a better chance going to play the Powerball. But if you're trying to get a $300,000 real estate loan, I mean, we just got one of our clients a $500,000 real estate fix and flip loan. But he still got to come up with at least 10% for any deal that he does. But because we've been positioning him for the past 2 years, he has over, 180 something thousand in credit that he can leverage at any time. But again, it was a process. It's about strategy. But a lot of us don't want to invest to go find out how to get the strategy. We want to piece together a couple YouTube videos and go out there. We fumble it, or we think money gonna solve our issue. You can have all the money, but if you don't have a strategy to keep the capital, if you don't have a strategy to flip the capital, you're gonna be right back in the same position. All right. How can I find out what credit unions and banks utilize? How can I find out what credit unions a bank utilize? I'm not sure if I understand that question, but the best way to find out is you can ask the bank, if I'm reading your question properly. My LLC will be 2 years in April, but I had to change the name because the members have to get a new EIN, so the banks go from the origination date of the creation of the EIN. Yes. My question to you, King, is why did you have to change your EIN? When you change the company name, you typically don't. You have to pay to play. King Reggie Duskin, I love that term because I use that all the time. See, when it comes to building a business, you have to pay to play. You got to pay to play. King Frank out in Pittsburgh, anytime he has a question, he hit me up and say, King Will, send me an invoice. I got a question. I don't even need an hour of your time. He hit me up so much, I just pick up the phone and call him, said, King. But that's because King Frank been supporting. I mean, he done bought probably over the past 2 years, 200 books. He done invested in every course we got. But he understands he got to pay to play because he's trying to get to that next level, like that next level. He called me literally just a couple days ago and was like, King, send me an invoice. I need 5 minutes of your time. But when you create a win-win for other people, people are usually more willing to give back to you. And so just because I know King Frank's intentions and that he's willing to invest in himself, I'll pick up the phone and just call him. But we have to put ourselves in position and understand that, you got to pay to play sometime. And so it baffles me when I talk to people who saying they trying to, be this mogul, trying to get $10 million in credit, but don't want to pay $500 to improve their credit to get to the millions. We'll let $500 stop us from getting 50,000. We'll let $500 stop us from getting 15,000. And so understanding that we're looking at it as a cost instead of an investment. Think about it like this. If you can go to the casino with $300 and walk out with 1,000, is that a profit? And most people will do that. But we won't invest $1,000 to put ourselves in position to get access to tens of thousands of dollars. We got to change our mindset, y'all. We got to level up. All right. Yeah, we got to create the win-win-win where everybody win. All right. I bought a condo a little over a year ago. Would it still be able to purchase a 4-unit? If you bought it as an owner occupied, no. If you bought it you can only have one FHA property at a time. That's right, King Justin. What value do you add to where someone would want to just stop everything they're doing and just give you the game? Something that they've probably worked for 30 years on. All right, what's the difference from a collection and a charge-off? It's actually the same. It just means that a charge-off, the company usually wrote the debt off on their credit. That's really pretty much the difference. Wrote it off on their taxes. All right. I got my answer from you in your conversation. I appreciate that. The Frank_Sims. Thank you. How do I label cash deposits where it's shown like payment from customers? Good question. That's why you want to make sure you're always sending them an invoice. So the question was, how do you label cash payments from a client to look like it was an actual payment from a client? So if a client pays you cash, we need to start showing that is income coming into our business. This happens a lot with my barbers and beauticians. It's a cash-based business. And then we go and we want to buy a house in a year, but we can't do so because we're showing we're showing on our tax returns we made $3,000. So this is why I say send everybody an invoice. And if they give you cash, you can actually record the payment that invoice was paid. Okay? So that's a very good question, Queen. Thank you for asking that. All right, what about balance transfers? What do you want to know? All right, King, I have a 3-year-old LLC. How can I get funded to buy and hold? Sign up for our easy funding, just like that. Sign up for our funding program. King Just, somebody reach out to JN27. Can inquiries that resulted in a credit card approval be safely removed? Yes. Anybody who's been in our credit inquiry program, let King Jamar know if it's been beneficial for you. All right. See, I'm a housekeeper, so I got Capital One for official account, so I should just use PayPal to still make the invoice. Good question. So I want to tell people, have more than one merchant account. Have more than one merchant account. Now, I'm gonna tell you this. Don't send, if I'm gonna do, and I put a post out about this, and I'm gonna bring my guests on in about 5 minutes. If I plan on doing business with you and you send me a Cash App, I will not do business with you. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you decide not to do or render the services or provide the product that I paid for, it's harder for me to get my money back with Cash App. I want to do business with people who invest in actually having some form of a legitimate processor, merchant account. It can be a PayPal. I'll do business with PayPal. It can be Square. I'm fine with that. But there's a plethora of merchant accounts out there. Now, the reason I say you want to have more than one, if PayPal doesn't like your transaction, they're going to freeze your money for up to 180 days. Then what do? So you want to have, I'm putting y'all on some game to save you the headaches. This is the shit they don't tell you. Have more than one merchant account. It will save you some headache in the future. Because if you have your money tied up with one merchant and they're holding it for 180 days, how are you going to take payments from another client? Your company pretty much is done. So have more than one merchant account. And again, if you send me a Cash App, we're not doing business. Again, no disrespect, but I just don't want to do business because I've just had my money taken too many times from people who I sent the Cash App payment to, and it's hard to dispute and get your money back from Cash App. You can't even pick up the phone and talk to nobody. All right. So what else we got? What are legal documents for when you do taxes? This is why you want to have a good tax preparer, a good tax specialist. Got to have a good tax specialist. Again, remember, in business, we got to stop trying to wear every hat. We have to invest in professionals. And if we can't, and it's not even that we can't afford the professionals, sometimes we just have to budget for it, and it's not as expensive as we think. We just have to start budgeting for it. All right. If the age on default restarts if you pay a collection a year later, no, it doesn't restart the age, but what can happen is it can drop your score. So if you pay a collection account and you don't get it removed, it can drop your score, which is why you want to offer a pay for deletion. You want to offer a pay for deletion, all right? Will banks approve second FHA loan? No. Not to my knowledge, unless the rules have changed. You can only have one FHA loan at a time. Now, you may be able to do it in another state. Again, I'm not a realtor, so I wouldn't know. But as far as I know, no. What you could do is, if you're married, one spouse put the property in their name, the other spouse do the other one in their name. So, there's ways around it. What was your worst deal ever? I invested into a franchise, not because it wasn't a good model, but because I only did it for the money. And so my worst investment was I invested and did business strictly for the money. Excuse me, never do something just for the money. You'll always lose. Always. All right, recent investments, Milwaukee, stand up, absolutely. All right, what's the difference between a statement date and a due date? Very good question. So your due date is the date that the credit card payment is due. The statement date is the date that they send that information to the credit bureaus. All right. Somebody else had a question. What's the inquiry program? Reese, I'm not sure. I think I know what you're talking about. So essentially, we can dispute credit inquiries, which if you are applying for credit, getting inquiries removed is very important. And then we have an unlimited credit inquiry program, which if you really about that life from getting this capital, you're going to always have inquiries. And so we have an unlimited inquiry removal program where we dispute an unlimited amount of inquiries for 12 months. And I'm telling you, my entrepreneurs who really about that credit life and understand the power of true leverage, when they sign up for that, it makes their lives so much easy, because we'll dispute it as many times as you need us to within that month. Myself personally, I dispute my inquiries every 90 days. All right. What do you think about unsecured loans? I love unsecured money. That means I don't have to use any collateral. I love unsecured capital. All right. Hey, King, what credit monitoring service do you find to be the most accurate? All of them pretty much do the same thing. I'm not necessarily worrying about who's the most accurate. I'm worrying about how easily accessible the information is, because as long as you take care of the profile, the score will take care of itself. All right. As long as you take care of the profile, the score will take care of itself. How do you remove BKs? You can dispute them. Make sure, I'm going to give y'all this one last tip, and I'm going to bring my guest on. So if you got a BK, go and freeze your LexisNexis report. And then I actually have a dispute letter in my Elite Credit Dispute Letter ebook, where it has the verbiage and the template to dispute public records. All right, you can dispute public records. Does your team work with student loans? Yes, I'm actually going to be doing a student loan webinar next month. Everybody who want to see me do a student loan webinar next month, drop me an emoji below. Give me the muscle arms, because I know all y'all been in the gym. All right, because it's about health and wealth. That's all we on right now. So drop them the muscle emojis. Talk about buying assets with credit when you just jumping off the porch. That's what we do, King Reese. But we're going to have to talk about that on another live. What can you do if your identity is stolen? Go file a police report. That's what you want to do immediately. All right, I see y'all want to hear about this student loan. Yes, so I'm putting together a student loan webinar for February. Make sure y'all stay locked in. How much unsecured funds can a business get for 2 years? If your business is 2 years old, you can get unlimited access to capital. Most banks will give you up to $50,000 in a line of credit with little to no docs. Y'all caught that? Little to no docs, up to 50K. So if you want to learn more about that, make sure y'all reach out to me. All right, so what I want to do, I actually want to bring on a king who is out here in Las Vegas. He actually I met him at a networking event a few months back, and he came to me with this idea that actually I've been thinking about and wanting to do. And the dope thing about it is that when you just stay engaged, a tax strategist is just somebody who understands the strategies of taxes for what your end goal is. All right, so when the king came to me and was like, yo, I'm putting together something called The Pitch, and I'm gonna let him talk more about it. Essentially, it's like a level of Shark Tank, in layman's terms. But the thing I liked about it is that he is creating a platform. That's the operative word. He's creating a platform for Black and minority-owned business owners and entrepreneurs out here in Las Vegas to be able to pitch to investors who are looking to invest in businesses. I tell you all the time, I'm looking to invest in something. And so the king came to me. I want to support his event. If you're in the Las Vegas area, February 7th, make sure you pull up. What's that? February 9th, my bad. February 9th, make sure y'all pull up. I mean, it's in the 70s out here all this week. So, February 9th is probably still going to be in the 70s. So make sure y'all pull up. So King Kadeem, I actually want to bring him on and let him briefly talk about his event called The Pitch. Y'all got to excuse me. Hold on. All right, King. You're going to have to come around.
That's cool.
Got everything. We got it ghetto rigged over here.
That's all good.
All right.
Keep it right.
Definitely. All right, King. So talk to the people. Let them know what The Pitch is,
Okay.
how they can find you, how'd you come up with the idea, all that good stuff.
Okay, excellent. Just introducing myself. My name is Kadeem O'Berry with Broad Living Consulting. Just a little brief background. I'm a home improvement financer. Just recently started even a small car dealership. So I'm in the business world. For the last 5 years, just been really going crazy in business and trying to figure things out. I listen to Will Lives and I even know him from doing his corner classes and seeing him like that. So business is like the main thing for me. So when we came up, I'm also a business coach, sales strategist. I moonlight as that sometimes. So, with The Pitch, long story short, is like Will said, is giving people that platform. Giving people that platform to do what a lot of people don't do. And because I do come from a sales background, I am a sales strategist. The hardest thing that a lot of young business owners or new business owners don't do is sell. They don't know how to sell. So with The Pitch is literally giving people that platform to just pitch, sell your business to hundreds of people in the crowd. And it's really, when I thought about it, it was almost like an idea. A lot of people who's in business understand Shark Tank, or they watch Shark Tank, and really I just said, there's no Shark Tank for us. I watch Shark Tank all the time and I hardly see us on there. So this is that. We're literally giving people that. There's no panelists, no judges. The audience is the judge. The audience is the judge.
So literally anybody in the crowd can invest in the company.
Correct.
The reason that's so powerful is because you don't know who got access to capital. Mm-hmm. You could have somebody who got a 401k with about $500,000 in there that's looking to invest in something.
Correct.
But because they don't pull up in what we think they should pull up in, they don't got the custom suit on, but they like the idea. They're like, you know what? I want to invest in that. And so I think it's a brilliant idea. How can they find you? How can they get more information about that?
So definitely you can get me on IG at Deem Sales and Strategies. That's DEEM Sales and Strategies. I'm on Facebook, Kadeem, I'm on. You can also check my businesses out at Broad Living Consulting. If you want to find out more about The Pitch, this is under Black in Business. So this is another business that we have, which is Black in Business. So on IG is black.in.business. You can look me up on Facebook, Black in Business, and Twitter. We're really all over. We're just making sure we get covered. So Black in Business, hashtag the Pitch, you'll find us.
Definitely. And the other dope thing about that too is that I think you hit the nail on the head. There's really not a forum for just like the super mom and pop business to get in front of somebody who may want to invest.
Correct.
Because like it's so many people out here with dope ideas, man, but they may not know how the business side of it work.
Correct.
Because a lot of times companies don't necessarily need capital.
Right.
They just need somebody to guide them through the process of business, which I've even invested in companies that they don't need the capital. They just need my expertise.
They just need the expertise.
And I said, okay, you know what? Let's put together an agreement. I'll come on as a 6 to 9 month a capital partner.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? And so they don't need the capital. They just need strategy, because not everybody who runs a business know business.
Exactly.
They just know how to do what they do very good, but they just need a little bit of guidance. So man, no, I'm definitely going to support it. And this is something he's going to do every single month.
Correct.
So I think this is a dope, just a dope idea that can create a culture to where people can come to Vegas for something besides just the strip.
Exactly.
People can come to Vegas besides something just
Exactly.
gambling.
Exactly.
And all that stuff. So make sure y'all support this king. I'm gonna have him hop on the live so he can tag the business and all that good stuff. And let's support him. Let's make sure y'all go follow him. And y'all caught that. He got multiple businesses. It's about multiple streams of income.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I want
sir.
everybody to hashtag multiple streams.
Multiple
2020, that should be our goal. Having multiple streams of income. And like I talked about earlier, and I know y'all can't see me all the I know, like I talked about earlier, your book is your business card. Did you know when you sell a book, you get residuals? I don't know if y'all caught that. That means you get residuals, meaning no matter what you have going on, if the book is selling, you're going to always get money. And so one of the things I believe in is that anytime I want to go and make a purchase, I go and find a new stream of income, because I'm going to let that income pay for that. I'm telling y'all, when you want to go and purchase something, so if you want to go get that Bentley truck, I don't have nothing wrong with it. Like, trust me, I love nice things, but I'm also going to make sure that my nice things turn into assets. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a stream of income to pay for that Bentley truck, and then use the Bentley truck that's getting paid for that stream of income and make that another stream of income. So I've created 2 streams of income. So we got to learn how to start being more creative. I know y'all keep asking me to do a video on Turo. I don't feel I'm quite the Turo expert just yet, but y'all just hang tight. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, I'm still figuring it out myself, but it's been very lucrative. But it's just about purchasing the right way. And so I have had a lot of people book a consultation with me, though, to learn how to properly position themselves to purchase the vehicle the right way and breaking down the numbers. So we have done that. Got to have the Rolls Royce truck. King Evan, I was just saying Bentley because I saw one earlier today. I don't know what I'm going to get. I'm still thinking about getting the convertible GT coupe, though. It's just something about that convertible coupe. But I ain't even driving it. I'm going to rent it out. All right? So... King, I appreciate you coming on.
Sir.
Definitely
Yes, appreciate it.
Make sure y'all go follow this King. Let's support him. I'm gonna definitely support him. I want to leave out of there, invest in something. Whether it's my time, resources, or even just taking them under my tutelage and under my wing and really mentoring them. So again, King, let them know how they can find you one more time. The date of the event.
Yes, sir.
It's all about repetition.
So definitely. Once again, it is at UNLV. I didn't state that. So it is at UNLV Student Union Theater. So it's very major. Just remember that. It's UNLV Student Union Theater. You can reach me at Deem Sales and Strategies on IG, Black in Business, black.in.business. Also Facebook, Black in Business. Check out the other businesses, Broad Living Consulting. And once you really check it out, you'll see all the info, all my numbers. I don't need to give out my numbers here, but you'll be able to see all the info as well. So once again, Kadeem O'Berry, Deem Sales and Strategies, Black in Business, The Pitch. You'll be able to find us.
All right, King. So I appreciate that. Make sure y'all go follow him. Somebody just asked me how much I'm gonna rent it for. $1,000 a day. We don't rent about a week. We rent about a day out here in Vegas. That's the dope thing about Vegas. And actually, no matter what market you in, you could find some value. Make sure y'all go support Black in Business. I'm gonna support. If you're in Vegas, pull up. And hey, I'm giving away some vacations next week. So y'all stay in tune. One of the vacations is coming to Vegas, giving away a 1 to 4 day, 3-night vacation stay in Las Vegas. So be tuned in for that next promo. My personal IG is Mr. Will Roundtree. Mr. Will Roundtree. Yes, all vehicles drop in value, but I'm not worried about that because the vehicle is going to become an asset. As long as the debt is being serviced and it's not coming out of my pocket, it don't matter. Because guess what? The sooner it's getting paid off, you don't lose the value. That's what a lot of people don't understand. I'm not making minimum payments forever. You know, one of the most recent vehicles I bought a S550 Benz, you know, and so that vehicle makes about $2,500 a month. The note is nowhere near that. My vehicle is actually worth more than what I owe on it. So it's not about the vehicle dropping in value because I'm not driving it just to drive it. I purchase them, I drive them, but then I rent them out. And so again, we got to understand the numbers. We got to understand how money works. And I'm not worried about the depreciation in value. Plus, I don't buy brand new vehicles. The average person can't tell the difference between a 15 and a 2020 nowadays anyway, unless you just a car aficionado. Unless you King Evan, where you pulling up in something nasty every single week, you can't tell the difference. I don't really know that much about cars. I just know what people like to drive, and that's what I go and buy. All right. So, all right, looks like we got about 4 minutes, so I'll go ahead, definitely taking a couple more questions. That's right. Y'all keep hashtagging multiple streams of income. That's what it's all about in 2020. It's all about multiple streams. We gotta create these legacies. Driving the S150 2011 and people swear it's a 2017. I'm telling y'all. And I know, King Daryl, you can put that F150 up there probably for about $250 a day. And the note probably not even that. Knowing you is paid off. So now it's all profit. My vehicle worth more than what I owe on it. That's gain. 100%. So it don't matter what the value is. So when you understand that, you know, I always tell people, when you understand how to purchase the right way, whether it's a property, whether it's vehicles, whether it's gold, whether it's other businesses, even if you're buying clothes and selling them on eBay and all these other platforms, when you purchase the right way, I tell people, you can never be broke. Because worst case scenario, I could liquidate everything and be up again and start over. And because I already got this, you know, it's impossible to fall. And that's why it's important to understand strategies. Yes, this live will be saved. And if Instagram allows me to save it to my device, I'm going to put it on YouTube. Make sure y'all go to YouTube, all the old FICO Fridays, and make sure y'all go out and support my podcast, The Wealth Files. I just had Jackie Starr, Floyd's personal barber. She got a dope story. Got several barbershops, got a dope, some product line coming out. Yo, real dope. She got a barber expo out. Like, when I tell y'all she's a legend in the barbering industry, y'all got to link up. We had a really dope interview with her on the Wealth Files podcast. It's on all the streaming sites, Spotify, Google, iTunes, all that dope stuff, as well as being able to go and watch it on YouTube. Yo, I'm trying to get y'all as much value as I can, you know, so use me up, utilize me while while my creator has blessed me to be able to be on this earth. All right, I got 1 minute left. Do you have a book with this info? Yes, my book is here, King, but I do have a lot of information in my book, Full-Time CEO, the shit they don't tell you. That podcast, thank you, King, Kendall, and credit is king. You can purchase them on YouTube. Make sure you go, on Amazon, and make sure you leave a review. So, family, I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all reach out. Let's support each other. Make sure we go out. A couple people reached out to me talking about setting up LLCs. I have an entire team that does that. Also, make sure y'all go out, support my wife's book, GGRoundtree.com. She got 3 incredible books out. Actually about to drop another book on love and relationships, all that dope stuff. What else? The Wealth Files is the podcast, The Wealth Files. I appreciate y'all for supporting. Go to Amazon, all that. Make sure y'all be on the lookout for the next promo that I'm that I'm dropping. I'm giving away some vacations. So if you're trying to come to Vegas and build with King Kadeem and have and be able to pitch your business in front of some individuals who are looking to invest, whether it's time, money, resources, mentorship, all that good stuff, make sure y'all stay tuned. The pitch, make sure y'all go follow the King. Again, go support the YouTube. Let's support each other. And let me see, I got 29 seconds. So I don't know if somebody got a question. Let me see if I can answer a question in 29 seconds. All right. Let me see who got a question. Yes, it's on Spotify. The podcast is called The Wealth Files. The Wealth Files. Full-time CEO is not on audio yet. It should be done. February 9th is the pitch, and Credit is King is on audio. So I answered 3 questions in less than 29 seconds, family. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.